Let's talk about the main point, and that is life. The leading causes of life are a fundamental reversal of the normal way of approaching the subject of health, which usually focuses almost entirely on disease, injury, or some kind of chronic condition that calls the attention of a health professional. The fundamental competence of a health professional is to get the question right. And the question is not always about what's wrong. Sometimes it's about the life of the patient, the life of the neighborhood, the life of the community. So there are two different kinds of questions. The leading cause of life is the balancing question that focuses on the life of the person or the system in front of you. This is so different from the way the hospital thinks about things. Typically that means clarifying the causal functions that leads to some presenting condition, a disease, a chronic condition. For the most part, those questions are focused on isolating some pathological causal phenomenon. So of course you ask what's wrong, but you balance that with a question about what's the life of that system in front of you. The leading causes of life approaches the human phenomenon in the context of the lifespan, not just a medical event, a lifespan of that human, in the context of family and social relationships. So very little of leading cause of life is directly focused on this or that health intervention or outcome of a particular condition. Neither is religion, very important to say, because both religion and leading causes of life are focused on lifespan qualities that transcend personal health status or even longevity. The leading cause of life are medically a better approach to understand the overall phenomenon of living, which inevitably includes pain and distress and disability and dependency, some of which can be treated, prevented, or ameliorated. Many conditions that were once considered terminal are now considered chronic, which is to say they're things that can be lived with over time. And as soon as the subject becomes about living with something, you need a logic model like leading causes of life to help you ask better questions about what might be possible in that particular life. So the leading cause of life helps make this actionable by posing 5 fundamental phenomena. Think of these as tent pegs holding open the possibilities of what we might be able to imagine for the particular life in front of you. So whereas the hospital electronic medical record has thousands of ways of describing what might go wrong, leading cause of life has 5 basic causal pathways. I always begin with connection, which opens 1,000 ways of positive impact on health, whether through attachment, belonging, access to support, comfort, encouragement, and strengthening the heart of the person, sources of assistance, and more. This is true at every level of human life, personal, family, social, ecological. When we tried to activate the leading cause of life in the strategies of our hospital in North Carolina, we understood this as asking about the right door at the right time, never alone. Connection. Agency is the capacity to choose, to act wisely or foolishly, long before they're a patient, but certainly once they have a condition that could be ameliorated or treated by doing the right thing. So start the vegetables, stop the smoking, release the distressing grudge that has trapped you in an unhealthy mental situation. Take the vaccine. The link to health and well-being of agency is very clear, philosophically and practically. Paul Ricoeur once said, quote, "With the decreasing power of acting experienced as a decrease of the effort of existing, the reign of suffering, properly speaking, commences." So, helping people to regain or strengthen their power of acting, agency, is a vital intervention in any health phenomenon. So, third, coherence. A little bit tricky. Humans make health-related decisions in light of an overall worldview. Sometimes you might call it a health world. Even when circumstances are difficult, one might choose toward health, even if only for the well-being of one's children, out of a sense of coherence, out of a sense of what is most important that makes life hold together for you. Because time is of the essence in effective treatment for many health conditions. Anything that delays or accelerates the move towards the right time for care makes a big difference in outcomes, expense, and stress. So this goes beyond health literacy, knowing what's right to do, to having a sense of being part of a system, part of a world that will treat you in a respectful manner when ill or injured. And of course, people of faith understand that that world is one created by a loving God who loves us individually, loves the world as a whole. So, coherence. Intergenerativity. You could think of it as blessing, but it's the sense of being in the right relationship of the flow of life that flows across people, sometimes generationally, to be standing in the right relationships between what we have received as adults from those who came before us, play our role correctly and wisely so that the children, all children, can benefit from the flow of life going on in the world. The sense of being in that right relationship is enormously causal of life for the person doing the right thing. And of course, those decisions that come out of an intergenerative sensibility also make you more likely to do the right thing, to help people in a very practical way. It's playing the right role in the overall life of the system that is in fact generative. The last one's hope. And in every professional body of thought, hope is the big variable. We know in the medical field the placebo effect is essentially a measure of the biological impact of hope. But leading cause of life is not interested in just medical optimism in the moment for one person. Leading cause of life goes beyond private medical optimism to include decisions that are made by a person to sacrifice one's own safety on behalf of a hope for one's children, neighbors, faith, or society. Hope illuminates the possibilities in one's connections, give meaning and energy to one's agency, and extends the horizon of generative vision beyond one's own life in ways that are crucial to the social and political whole. Leading cause of life, the right question.